Hello, hello, hello. Hello to everyone out there. If you guys are on, you guys can see on the screen that we have a guest. This is a pleasure for me. And if I'm not mistaken, we may have someone else to join us. Let me say hi to Sharon, because Sharon has been on for a minute when I did the first test email, message or whatever. Sharon said, "Good evening." Good evening, Sharon. How are you? How are you? We are doing well. I got another wonderful guest to bring up, and let me bring her up. And we look at this. We are good. We are good. So
Sorry.
no problem. So those of you who are joining us, you can see what I managed to pull off
Hey,
today.
Taisha.
We have Sister Taisha with us today, and we have Neo X with us. Neo and Taisha, those my people. I got their back to the end, to the end. So you mess with Neo or Taisha, you mess with me. So hey, glad to have you both with us today. I see some more people coming. The voice of Eli. What's going on? The voice of Eli. Glad to have you, Papa Soul Searcher. Glad to have you. So this should be spirited today. This should be a great conversation. We want all your input from those of you out there who are on with us live. Um, and questions for those of you who pick this up later on. I do my best to answer all the questions or the comments when they come in when I see them after the show. So this will be awesome. Just a couple of quick announcements about this before we get started. Um, After today, we won't be back on for 3 weeks. Next week we're off anyway because we like to skip a week, and then I will be in Paris the next 2 weeks. I'll be in France, study abroad, doing religion in France. So we'll see how that goes if I don't get kicked out. Uh, so we'll
You'll
be
be
there
over there
for
saving souls.
yeah. I'll be over there trying to get them. No, that's so that we'll do that for 2 weeks. So I will be back after that. So about 3 weeks we'll miss, and so we should be good. Other than that, I think that's the only announcement. And so let's get ready to get into this. Glad that we have Taisha, glad that we have Neo, and they will absolutely lend their comments and input. Uh, so today's topic. Today's topic. Well, first of all, I always do this. And I have three people to thank today. So thank you, Taisha, for everything that you've done. I always say I would not be here without Taisha's support and pushing and probing and work that she's done, pushing and prodding and the work that she's done to get me where I am now. So I always appreciate Taisha. Neo X has also been instrumental. I've done some stuff on her show. She's here to join us, and I definitely appreciate her being in this space and all the work that she's done. And I always have to thank my better half, my wife, my wonderful wife, who does a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. Appreciate you, Salima. So we're good there. Those of you who joining us, you see we have Taisha Neo X on. So let's get into this. Today's topic is canceling the Bible. Canceling the Bible. I know some of you people who just heard that are clutching your pearls. How dare people say, especially black people, say cancel the Bible? Because that's our bread and butter. That's our soul. We love the Bible. The reason why this topic came up, actually, this is a topic that Taisha gave me a couple at our last podcast, and it struck home. I said, that's the perfect topic. So I said we would definitely do that topic. But there are some practical reasons why I wanted to do this topic, because I wanted to address it. I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to find out why we feel that we are so devout to this Bible. Wanted to talk to some people and get them a little history, especially of the King James version. Um, I actually visited London and went to King James' home, or his alleged home, and got the tour and heard firsthand all of the things that we mostly hear as rumors about King James. I heard firsthand and some other stuff, and so we'll share that stuff later. But one of the other reasons why, because I think this is a needed topic, but over the last 2 or 3 days, I've been embroiled in a debate, let's say, with a couple of gentlemen. One guy challenged me, and then he and I went for a while, and then he invited me to this other group and promised that it would be a earnest and honest exchange of ideas between myself as a non-believer and the people in his group. But one of the things I discovered, he brought on this guy who is a supposedly a philosopher by education, PhD, wrote a lot of stuff, and so we got into the whole discussion of Jesus, the existence of Jesus, both as a human being and his divinity. And so one of the contentions that we had, or that I had, was the fact that this guy, I asked the guy, I said, well, where is the non-biblical evidence of Jesus and God, Jesus' divinity and God? Um, his response was, as far as Jesus is concerned, the evidence is in the Bible. I said, well, that's a circular argument. That's, you can't use the Bible to prove the Bible. I said, again, where is the non-biblical evidence? And so and based on his education, he started coming out with, well, the logic, this is the way research is done, blah, 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 so forth and so on. We had discussions as to whether or not, I said, contemporaneous evidence for Jesus? Meaning, where is the evidence that was written about Jesus as he lived, not 30, 40 years after he died? His response to that was, there is no writings about historic people that was done while they lived. I said, you absolutely wrong. So I pulled up information about Mansa Musa, I put up information about Gandhi, put up information about Mother Teresa. There's information that's been written about them while they lived. His next response was, no, we're talking about much older people. So I pulled up information about the 5 dynasties in Egypt's 5 dynasties with all of their kings. There was information that was written about those kings and their dynasties while they lived. And he disputed that, saying that that stuff was written 10, 20 years later. I said, no, I got the information. He sent information. I sent information. So we went back and forth. And then I sent him information about the first writings of a person was like 3300 BCE. And there was a guy named uh, Kashima, and he was just a regular, I think it was an accountant or a tax collector or whatever, but there was writings about him as he lived. So again, it made me think about this thing about, we're so devout to the Bible for a number of reasons. In this case, this guy was using the Bible to prove a point of Jesus' existence, which still didn't make that sense. But I wanted to talk about the Bible, why we should cancel the Bible, and or even should we cancel the Bible? So before we get into some of my reasons, maybe we could hear from Taisha and Neo if they have anything on that to this point.
Go
Either
ahead.
one. Either
Go ahead.
one.
Good Taisha, go first. Go first.
Got me. All right. My thing is to cancel. My main reason of canceling it, and I'm not saying get rid of it completely, because as we have seen in the past decade, the United States and different parts of the world, how I like to call it, they're cleaning up their social media, where they're removing racist Confederate statues, and hiding and destroying and discarding accurate history. However, when it comes to the Bible, I would say, because you're not able to revise it. Plus, it was given to us. I think it was Dr. Ben. He wrote the book. I was looking at my bookshelf to see if I had it on hand, just to make sure I said the right thing. He has a book called The Need for a Black Bible. And because, you know, it was given to us, forced on us, and it has different things in it. I don't agree with our Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, where it's like, well, this says we deserve it because of that, because we're cursed, because I'm like, I ain't reading that. If you're gonna read a book, it should uplift you. It should give you information that you may not have had before, but it should leave you feeling better. And with the Bible is just, it translates to a book. It's just a book. But this book right here had the power to, break up families, justify torturing, splitting up people, slavery, molestation, a whole bunch of stuff. And people use it in the most sick, twisted ways. Yes, anything can be used in that fashion, but okay, either one, it needs to be seriously revised, cover to cover and whatever. But I just put it this way, we didn't make it, so I can't change it. So I just say discard it and cancel it, because there are a lot of things that should not fly, that should be allowed to allow this book to be on the shelves today and still stand, and different scriptures put everywhere. Let's go ahead and cancel it. It's not doing any good right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with Taisha on that. That's pretty much how I feel about the Bible. I recently had a debate where I was trying to explain to my audience why I'm an omnist and why I don't really be so hard on people who believe in the Bible, because I know the psychological reasons why they do, because I once believed in the Bible myself. I do understand that it's something that we're taught as children. You know, we're indoctrinated. But I'm with Taisha on this. Sometimes that Bible is used to manipulate, used for political gain, and to just commit genocide. They justify evil action, saying that the God of the cosmos is the God of the Bible, who's ordaining all this stuff, right? And the best example that I can give y'all, if y'all ever seen the movie The Book of Eli, you remember the guy who was trying so hard to get the Bible. He didn't want the Bible so he can actually free people and give them a peace. He wanted it for control. He knew that people's minds were weak, that he said this was the most powerful book on this earth. So he wanted that book for control power, just so he can manipulate the people. Because I'm a type like this. When it comes down to the Bible, I think people should just be honest and call it what it is. A lot of stuff that the Bible claimed has historically been debunked. There's no archaeological evidence. The history doesn't line up. It's too many flaws in it for it to be considered the word of God. I understand that. That's why I don't subscribe to the literal things that the Bible teach. But there are some bits and pieces of things that you can take out of the Bible. For instance, it says the love of money is the root of all evil. We know that people who are evil, who have the greed in them, they will do anything. They'll kill their mom for life insurance and shit, stuff like that. So overall, just using my African mind, if it's not beneficial to a whole group of people, I really feel like it should be canceled, because the Bible is not true. I don't see that. I don't see enough in it to say it's true. But if someone can pull values out of it, I guess I'm okay with it. But they need to move the book from the nonfiction to the fiction until they kind of spend that time to prove that it's true. But no one has done that yet, and it's been over 2,000 years. So pretty much that's how I feel about it.
Appreciate it. Let me read a couple of comments, and then I'll give you my next comments on this. Papa Soul Searcher said, I would cancel the church and religion that the Bible represents. The Bible is actually a food book to read. I think you meant a good book to read. If you know what you are reading, use it to wake the followers up. I'm going to stick a pin in that, Papa Soul Searcher, and then we will come back to that. Christina said, hello, greetings. Henry Mars, greetings. Appreciate it. Glad to have you here. Christina says, anything that tells lies is definitely worth canceling. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Real. That's a good one.
So, Voice of Eli said, I think we should cancel its high esteem, but we need to, at this stage, acknowledge its effects on Western civilization. Maybe in the near future, we can make it a relic of history. I like that. Renegade. But I thought we said all religions are true because they came from man's mind. Now the Bible isn't true. I'm confused.
That's someone trolling me, because that's the point that I said I tried to explain spiritual things to a bunch of carnal-minded people. They not catching that I'm saying that every God, every religion came from the imagination of a man's mind, of a way of them expressing their belief in a higher power. Everybody has a religion. All these gods function the same. Can you see your God? Can you see the Hindu God? Can you see the Krishnas and Allah? Has anybody ever seen their God? No, because it exists in their imagination. They think I'm saying that the literal claims of the Bible, like a man talking to a donkey and the snake, they believe that I'm saying that is true. I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying why people believe in religion, what makes it true, because what they're trying to express in their essence. Because if I'm sure whoever that was who's trying to troll me, if he was born in India and he was under some Hindu, he'll be worshiping Krishna. You get what I'm saying? He didn't even have a choice on what religion he was going. He was placed over there at a certain time. So you're gonna adopt whoever religion you was born at. But you know, whoever that is, that's somebody trolling me. And they just didn't get it. And then for those who saw what happened, y'all just let y'all know I'm not ever going on Sonetta TV again. Like y'all ain't never gonna see me over there again. But
That's important. I'm glad that you said that, because when you look at different regions around the world, their God looks like the people of that country. As Black people, we're the only ones who we're looking to, you know, this blue-eyed dude who looks like he's singing the Bee Gees. It doesn't apply to us. And then the book, it talks about our melanin, our skin complexion, and that we're evil. And then we got some people within our own skin folk who say, well, we're deserving of that because this book says so, and they dress like Power Rangers. It ain't right. So it's good to get rid of something that holds you back.
And then that didn't come from our imagination as African people. You said it. That white man, blue eye, that didn't come from us. We have gods. We have the Orishas. The Orishas look like us. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I mean about the imagine. Both gods function the same. None of us seen the Orishas God, from my understanding. Have you?
And
we don't see them. They exist in here. They exist here.
And when you try to correct them, even going to use the Metunet or anything like that, they're like, oh, that's evil. I'm like, well, who taught you that was evil? Who taught you something that looks like you or represents you and comes from the original land is evil? So it's the mind control and the brainwashing is deep. It's deep.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say African Americans are the only people that worship a God that doesn't look like them. We're the only people on the face of the earth that worship a God that does not look like us. And again, that is problematic, and that is symbolic of what the Bible has given us. And so you guys mentioned the first couple of things, because what I want to do here is, this is just not, I don't like to say, well, let's just bash the Bible per se, but I want to give people concrete information, concrete facts as to why the Bible's a problem. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm sorry. Can you just for the sake of the show, the dude Jay, just for now, you can unblock him later so he can come back, but he's going to spend the whole time distracting the show. He's a troll. Jay he's not here to learn anything. He's here to challenge. He's gonna make fun of you. He's gonna make fun of me. He just spends his time going from platform to platform, aggravating people. So I just finally went and go look who made that comment, and it's Jay. So he booted off my channel. He's booted off of other people. He's a troll. Just boot him out for now. But you can bring him back after the show.
Okay. So he is he's blocked. I don't know, and this is the only. This is all of the attention that I give him. I don't know Jay, but I do know Neo.
You know who Jay is. You know who that is. Okay. He challenged you about you believing in God and all that.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's Jay.
No problem.
Yeah, that's him.
So Neo is family. Jay, you're welcome back at any time after today.
Yeah, after the show.
Because I don't have an issue with us going back and forth, as long as it's not distracting, as long as it's earnest dialogue. So now let's get back to what we're talking about. So again, I was talking about, why are we talking about canceling the Bible? And what I want to address are, why would we do that? Because I feel like there are things with the Bible that are harmful to us and have been harmful to us. I think Taisha and Neo X both mentioned one of the many things. First of all, this whole curse of Ham. I just wrote a paper on the Birth of a Nation, the original movie from 1915, which was a horrendous movie. Stereotypes reignited the Klan, but part of it was that white racist Southerners were able to use the Bible as justification for the mistreatment of our people. And so when our people also believe that they are cursed, and here's what I always say, and I think maybe Neil, you and I might have had this discussion with people. Most black people, most white people for that matter, but most black people, it's worse for you guys, for us. You're even interpreting the so-called curse incorrectly. There was never a curse on black people. The curse was not even on Ham. The curse was on Canaan, and it was not on his descendants. It was just on him. If you want to go there with it. So we even look at it completely wrong. But again, that Bible and the way it's misinterpreted and used is a problem. And so one of the things I did, there's a couple of comments that I want to get to, but one of the things I did before the show was I found 10 reasons to ban the Bible. This goes perfect into what our discussions, and I want to get to some of those reasons that this individual listed. We found this guy named Tim Zeke. I want to give him his credit. Tim Zeke, he's on Medium, which is those of you who don't know what Medium is, it's a platform where you can submit writings and actually get paid every time someone reads your writings. So I want to get into that in just a second, but I also want to look at some of the comments and then give Taisha and Neo X a little more time to say something. So where did we stop off at? I know it was some good comments. I also want to say hello to some people I haven't seen in a while. Let's see. Christine likes your comment, Taisha, dressed like Power Rangers. I laugh every time Taisha says that.
And they do. Y'all ever seen that movie, The Last Dragon, when they like show enough? Don't they look like I forgot the dude's name, but they look just like the guys in The Last Dragon. Who's the baddest? Show enough.
Show enough was his name, and Bruce Leroy. So let's see what else we got. The comments here. This is why the Bible. This is the voice of Eli. This is why the Bible itself, use the Bible itself against them. There are enough flaws in it that it will expose them. That was from Voice of Eli. Let's see. Mad Me Up. That is, what is that? Some chick.
She means make her a moderator so that if there is someone who comes in the comments who says cuss words or just distracting, she can take them and mute them or block them without you having to break your train of thought to do it.
Okay. All right. We will do that when we get a chance, but hopefully we won't have any more. But thank you for that. I appreciate that. KB, what's going on? And glad to have you, some chick. What is that? Some chick named Star. Okay. Thank you. Glad to have you with us. Katie, glad to have you with us. Some chicks said peace to the host. Thank you. Appreciate it, Katie. I got some hot news for you, sister, after you finish this live. I guess he's talking to either Taisha or Neo. DMG, salute. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. Let's see who else we got. I always like to read my comments. Horrendous movie showed in the White House. It absolutely was. It was showed the president at the time. God, I forgot his name. It wasn't Woodrow. It wasn't Wilson. I don't think. Was it Woodrow Wilson? May have been. But yeah, it said it was a great movie that just shows you the time that we were living in. This is 1915. People. The movie we talk about Birth of a Nation. Voice of Eli said, I found even after I did research, I still had a connection. I had to find fault with the Bible itself for me to break that link. Put a pin in that. All races, all white. Christine said, I'm not going to read all these right now because we need to get to some of the other stuff we're talking about. Racists practice racism. But appreciate all of you. Was it Chal? Challe? Chal? See what's the cowards talk. Why don't you ban them little Negroes taking over your street, ban the Arab liquor store? Okay. So back to that's fine. I'm good with that. Back to where we were. So we're talking about banning the Bible and why it should be. Let me say this because I know I'm going to get people come on and see this later. We have been able to use, when I said we, I'm talking about our people. We have been able to use the Bible for some good. Not because, there's some things in the Bible that, it's good, but we've been able to use it because we are a resilient people. That's what we've always done. We've always taken something negative and made it good. Look at our diet. Look at the food that they gave us. We've turned that food into something that we were able to survive. Look at the neighborhoods that we've been in that they had given us. They always give us the worst, and we do our best to make it to make it much better. So that's who we are as a people in that. And so I don't know what happened to Neo. She stepped away. But I wanted to get into some of the questions of some of the statements that this person made about why we should ban the Bible, because I wanted to make sure that was Neo is back. I wanted to make sure that was covered, because I know I'm going to have people say, oh, the Bible did some good. and that's fine. But let's look at some really tangible reasons why we should. The first one that he states, the Bible describes marriage for young girls as something awful and that wives are far from being equal. Absolutely. I talked to someone one day and they made the point that that should the two groups of people that should not be Christian are black people and women. If you look at the Bible and read the Bible, absolutely. So this guy's comment, and whoever, Neil or Taisha, you can comment on this, but it says the Bible describes marriage for young girls as something awful and that wives are far from being an equal. In the Bible, especially the Old Testament, women are treated as property. Females are treated as property. Wives, as a matter of fact, even when you get to the area where we talk about slavery,
Mhm.
even Hebrew slave men at some point would be released, but their wives and kids would never be released, even if they are Hebrew. And so outside of the Hebrews, they never got released. So
Mhm.
again, you see how the treatment of women, we know all the stories in the Bible, the Old Testament about how women are mistreated and treated, so forth and so on. But yeah, Taisha, Neo, do you have anything on that?
I could just say something real quick about that. As a woman, or if you, to any black women out there, um, if you're really serious about your spirituality or your spiritual growth, or however you choose to believe in the creator or not, because you can be atheist and you'll be just fine. I feel like there's no penalty for that.
Mhm.
But you got to understand what the Bible is mentally doing to women. It's telling women from the beginning that they are cursed. Submission is a curse according to the Bible, because at first, in the beginning of the story, men and women were equal. And then when Eve ate from the fruit, and the God, the Most High of the Bible, the God of the Bible, cursed her. So being underneath a man is a curse. So think about that mentality of a woman growing up, that she always have to say that I have to submit myself to a man, regardless if he's a good man or a bad man. He's a good provider or not a provider. Just because he has a penis, he's more up in the hierarchy for my relationship with the Creator of God. So just make sure you take that in consideration for those who continue to subscribe to that faith, which y'all know I don't. But the Bible clearly tells you in the beginning, women are cursed, and your submission is part of your curse. So I
Yep.
don't think that's good for us. I don't, as a people, I don't think that's good for us.
Yep.
Yeah, with that there, looking at the history of the black man, the black woman, and the black family, what is described in the Bible, and compare that to Europeans, that does not apply to me. My man never prevented me from voting, or did different things as described in the Bible or throughout history to me. So I have no part to play in women's liberation. And the one thing that comes to mind when you say, the Bible considers women as property, when you look at the laws, the early laws, and I spent majority of my adult life in the Commonwealth of Virginia, where there was laws on the books where, okay, husbands can take their wives to the courthouse steps and beat her with a stick no bigger than his thumb, and it was common law. That's where the laws are coming from, the Bible, these different teachings. So, when I look at where I want to pull my history from and the examples that are set in stone, not just in that book, in Kemet, man, woman, and child were together. They were equal. They were side by side, not one behind the other, not one underneath the other. They sat side by side. So it just does not apply to me. It's not applicable. So on that basis, I would cancel it because it does not apply to me.
Yeah, and also Neo mentioned, going all the way back to the very beginning, Adam and Eve. Eve cursed, and subsequently the curse for all women based on what Eve supposedly done, is for is for you guys to have pain during your pregnancy. That's I mean, what is that? And if you know anything about religion, religious history, the original stories that the Bible creation story came from, there are stories that predate the Bible story that we have, where they would tell you that actually Eve wasn't the one that ate the apple, and that it was actually Adam that ate the apple. So you get those stories, but yet here's information, negative things said about Eve, and Eve is made to not only be cursed, but all the women after her to be cursed in this way, to have to have pain during childbirth. And
And that's a
so
terrible thing to think because, like I just had a home birth, about 3 months ago, and I had to battle different negative minds. The first thing I said, I'm having a child at home. We have, as a Black woman, medical apartheid that's going on. The Black maternal mortality rate is high. My Black infant deaths is high in the hospitals. The history of, you know, women's reproductive studies happen to enslaved women who are treated as property and not as respect and not treated with respect. But when we look at how we even treat our own bodies, with our menstrual cycles and appreciating that we bring forth life, um, you shy away, you start becoming disgusted at what has been passed through the generations. And I must say, you know, my daughter's in the next room. My husband was right there with me while I was going through it, and I could tell you right now, I don't remember any pain. When you apply the science, we talk about lately, trust the science, but when you know what a contraction is, what your body is doing to bring that baby to the other side, there's no curse about it. It's a blessing. And those who call it a curse, they do not have the power to do something so beautiful. So you have to reprogram yourself and unlearn the stupid stuff that you learned in that book and throughout the years of that indoctrination.
And just as
beautifully said.
let me just show you how stupid it is. All mammals, because human, we're mammals.
Yes, we are.
All mammals suffer during childbirth. All of them. You ever seen pigs or goats, or they all have pains and suffer, and they can die giving birth. So that show you how ridiculous the curse in the beginning about the woman childbirth being I just put the quote up here because somebody said it wasn't, but her pain will increase.
I will greatly multiply your sorrow
Right.
in your conception and pain. You shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you. Yeah.
That is a curse. It's a curse, but it shows you how ridiculous it is because all mammals, all of them, giraffes, you ever seen an elephant? Like, they are in pain and sometimes they can die. So it doesn't pertain to women. Women, any mammal feel pain.
It's just that we can voice and use words and express ours, but it's not pain. It was your body, and you work with your body. Because as you see, I delivered her. My video is right here on YouTube. Delivered her right in this house. I didn't go to the hospital. I didn't do an epidural. I didn't do none of that. Was right here in this house. When I got done, I ate a sandwich from a Publix and held my daughter, and that was it.
You're a strong woman, because I almost killed my mama with her bringing me. She almost died bringing me in, but I'm glad she did.
So before we get to the next point, we do this show because we want to create a space. So for those of us who may believe differently than the majority of us, or questioning our faith or whatever, there's a space for you. We also do this show because we like to educate those who need to be educated. Clearly, there are people in the comments in the chat that need to be educated. And so I hope that that individual stays on to get this information. Because we're going to give you this information. We're not going to shy away from it. And hopefully you're smart enough at some point to think analytically about the stuff, as opposed to writing and making archaic ass comments that don't make any sense, that make you look really ignorant. But I'm not gonna block you because I want you to get this information, because at some point you may wake up. So let's get to the second one. The second one is the Bible does not value babies. And so again, we know this. Even if we just look at I tell people, when I say this, people, they gasp. The Bible, I said, I'll give you just two stories. First of all, the flood story. God killed everybody except 8 people in one family, including babies. So what did the babies do wrong? And then look at the Exodus story. Now you're looking at the people that was killed. He killed all the firstborn, right? So what did babies do? So again, we asking the question, why should the Bible be canceled? Because the Bible is a heinous book if you really read it. And you read it objectively and with an open eye. As we used to say, with a third eye. But you don't even need that. Just be objective when you read it, and you should ask yourself, why would God have to kill all the people, including the babies? And so, Neo, Taisha, anything on that?
Um, you
Go
want
right ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's plenty of examples in the Bible of the God of the Bible killing children all the time. If you want to go to Second Kings, what second just and I'm only saying this just in case there's some Christians in here. You can go to Kings, chapter 2 and 24 about bears killing children because they were making fun of a man's bald head.
Yep.
You know, so it's plenty of examples. And then even if the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, I'm sure there were children in that city when God destroyed it. He didn't care about what the women were doing. He didn't care about what the kids were doing. He was mad at what men were doing, man. So he killed the whole city, destroyed the whole city. So it's throughout the whole Bible. So children being killed for no reason.
The great thing about this post is that the guy, when he writes a statement, he also gives you the scriptures of the Bible, the exact scriptures. So underneath, the Bible does not value babies. And he also says often causes them to be eaten as food. He quotes Leviticus, Hosea, Lamentations, what else? Psalms, 1 Samuel, and so forth and so on. So the information is there. So again, one of the things I said early on when I started this channel is and why I'm doing what I'm doing with school is to require us to help us think analytical about these things. We hear some of this stuff, we may read some of this stuff, and we kind of breeze over it. And we don't really think about it, and we need to look at the harm that is doing to our communities. If you don't think that it's doing harm to our communities, then look at the chat box. We have someone who really, here's a person who really is saying stuff that is so archaic. It is my, and listen, and I'm a man of a different generation. So when I hear this stuff, I'm like, man, this dude sounds like, somebody's grandfather. I mean, it is so backwards and so stupid. It's so asinine, some of the statements. You ask us why we're doing what we're doing. Look at the comments. That's why we're doing what we're doing. So we appreciate you for providing us with a proof that we need to continue to do what we're doing. And just so you know, there's no such thing as jumping on a bandwagon of this attack religion. That we have always had people who have questioned religion. We've always had people who did not believe, at least believe in a different way. And so that will continue. As a matter of fact, it will continue to expand and grow. And I hope that my channel, Taisha and Neo X's channel, and everybody else in this space will be a part of that, a part of the reason why that continues to expand. So continue to join us, brother. We appreciate it. As we move to number 3, the Bible promotes racism, genocide, and mass murder. And that is an easy one because it is all throughout the Bible. It is all throughout the Bible. You cannot get away from it every way possible. And this gentleman quotes Joshua 6:21, Deuteronomy 7:1-6. What else? Numbers 31:15-18. So I'm giving you the information that you can go look it up if you don't believe me. Here's one of the things I just want to read. This is highlighted. Babies were killed because their parents caused God's chosen people to sin. Why not just punish those that sin rather than innocent babies? I mean, don't that make sense? I mean, we look at the racism, we talk about slavery in there, even though that wasn't necessarily race-based, but it's been used to create a chattel system of slavery and racism. And it was based on, a lot of stuff in the Bible was based on nationality or ethnicity as well. So again, we're talking about it. Look at the genocide. Look at the countless number of societies that God wiped out or condoned being wiped out by his people. Just to think about it. Go through. I said this the other day on a podcast with somebody. Somebody did a research on the Bible and God's kill count. Over 2 million. Your God is responsible for over 2 million kill counts. You know how many the devil is responsible for? Around 10. I think
it's like 10. Yeah, I think, they said it was like 10.
So again, tell me what's the problem? This is another reason why we should cancel the Bible, because it promotes racism, genocide, and mass murder. There's no way around it. And so yeah, Taisha, Neo, anything on that?
Yeah, with that one, it goes to show nobody was safe from the wrath of God, because one thing I can say, religious folks, Christians, they love to bring up the story of Job. And I'm like, Job was loyal, but God took all his people out, his wife took all his possessions. Like, why would you still serve him after doing that to you? That's a crazy kind of love. If you ask me, that's toxic love right there. So yeah,
Yep.
no one was safe from the wrath of God.
Yep. Neo, you
Yeah,
got anything?
yeah, I 100% agree with Taisha, because that's pretty much what the Bible teaches. I mean, look how bad he whooped on the Hebrew Israelites when they were following, and they were his chosen people. He made them eat quail until it came out their nose. He beat them, burned them, killed them, tried to wipe out a whole tribe. And then let's be honest, even at the end of the story, when Jesus supposedly come back, he's coming back and slaying some more people. So the Bible promotes that through the whole, but I think that's just some things that people just overlook exactly what the Bible teaches. The Bible clearly states that the Most High, this God, has a favorite group of people. He's choosing to save them, and everybody else he brought into existence just to send them to hell. And that even people, and I know some Christians, y'all might know what I'm talking about. There's a story in the Bible where some of y'all believers who did worship and pray and believe in this God, but y'all not going to make it because he's going to separate the sheep and the goat. There's going to be people who serve God, believed in God, but I guess their heart wasn't really into it. They still going to get the wrath of God. So like she said, no one is safe. That's a scary mentality. And to me, that's why I'm convinced that the Bible is written by men and that it came from the imagination of a person who's trying to express vengeance and control.
Yeah. Yep.
Narcissistic, who had narcissistic traits. So they
Yep.
put it down on paper.
I want to read two comments and one of them I'm going to comment on. The first one, Christine said, what about the nonsense of the king asked soldiers to not only go and kill their enemy, but to bring back their foreskin? Who in the hell does that? I mean, it's just, you know what, when you get out of this, and I spent 40 years as a faithful Christian, and none of this stuff ever really, bothered me or triggered me while I was in it. Not because I was so devout. It was just one of those things that you kind of like, well, first of all, you don't get any preachers that preach on this. I've never heard a sermon about this. So a lot of this stuff, they kind of go over and they cherry pick and pick out the good stuff. That's why you hear so many of the same sermons all the time from different pastors, but they preach the same sermons because they run out of stuff to talk about because there's so many things that they don't want to touch on and they refuse to touch on. So yeah, that's crazy. And then finally, the other comment, who was that? It was KB. KB said, I think KB is talking about the Job story, I think. Let me find what KB said. Yes, and based on a bet with the devil at that. And so whenever I talk about the Job story, I say this to people. So here we go with an all-knowing God who is going to test one of his people, knowing what the end result is going to be, because this is an all-knowing God, right? But he does this because of a bet with the devil. So he allows the devil to kill everybody in Job's family, including his animals, except for his wife. And his wife is the smart one because she said, "Curse God and let's go," right? But here's this all. You tell me, where is the humanity in that? And so here's what we get when we have this discussion with Christians. These are apologists usually. They say, and I had this discussion recently with someone, they said, well, God gave him more the next time. And this is what I said to them. I don't know if you have a loved one, a wife, a child, a parent, or a mother, but here's the thing. I have a sister who I love. She can't be replaced. If God kills her and said, well, it's all right, I'm going to give you two of them, that ain't the one that I had. If God kills my wife is not replaceable. We're not furniture. You can't just throw out the old and bring in the new. That makes zero sense to me, but that tells you the type of mental gymnastics Christians have to do to make some of this shit make sense, because it don't make sense. This whole story of Job is one of the worst stories in the Bible. Dad and Isaac, Abraham and Isaac, he's going to kill his son, and at the last minute he stopped. If this was real, he'll be locked up. The kind of trauma that his son would have from that. But anyway, you get me going whenever you talk about Job and that story, because this is basically based on a bet with the devil. That makes us much, much more moral than the God that you guys serve. because I would never do that if I had the power. Why would you do that? So you wipe out all of his kids, all of his livestock to prove what?
Yeah, but
Go
you
ahead, Neil.
but you know everything. You could have just told Satan, now you know he ain't you know what I'm saying? Like you don't I was like you literally you could have said, nah, Satan, I'm God, I know everything. He ain't gonna like I don't it shows that whoever wrote this story don't value family, they don't value a woman, they don't value kids, because the story was about the man worshiping his relationship with the divine or with the creator of the Bible, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I didn't care nothing about his kids. He ain't loved them enough to keep them alive. He loved Job more than anybody, you know.
Mhm.
So, but that just show you that it's written by a narcissistic man, you know.
But it's also gaslighting, because although the Bible doesn't specifically say anything about gambling is a sin or nothing like that, but partaking in these activities are sinful and does not bring about anything good. So it's kind of gaslighting. Okay, it's like a parent and child. It's like, okay, I see you do it. Do as I say, not as I do. But you just made a bet, but I'm not supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's gaslighting.
Yep. Mr. 337, he said, plus you can give God the devil's kills because God gave him permission to do it. Absolutely. KB, we had your comment. All right. This next one is for the person that's trying to troll us, because this is the kind of mentality that you have. Number 4, the Bible teaches young boys that God sees nothing wrong with raping young girls as long as they are virgins. That's the kind of mentality that you have. That is the archaic, senseless, asinine 1500s mentality that you have with some of the comments that you've made. Thank goodness that all of us don't think like you. Thank goodness that all of us men don't think like you, because that's exactly that's where that stuff kind of starts from. Go ahead, Neil. Go ahead.
It also teaches you that it's okay to marry a girl after she get her period. And you know, a girl can get her period as young as the age of 9 years old.
Yeah.
The average age, I think the average age of a girl getting her menses is what, 13?
Yeah.
12, 13?
Yeah. And let's look at this. Let's look at this. So let's go to the heart of the matter. The virgin birth. You know, here's a 12, 13, or 14-year-old girl who is with an older man to begin with. We don't know if they were married or, because it's different interpretations, but they were together. Your God says, I don't care. Boom, I'm gonna get her pregnant. You don't know if she want to be pregnant. You don't know if she can deal with that. What she already has a man. So either, and I heard someone say this, I think it was a comedian, either this is the greatest hoax ever conducted, because she got pregnant by somebody else and told Joseph, oh, God did it, or this makes no sense at all. So basically, and I know this is going to be blasphemous to a lot of people, but you know, the Holy Spirit or whatever God used to impregnate her, he raped her. She was raped, you know, and I've done the research to see, because people have argued me, well, she wanted to do it, she wanted to be raped. None of that. She was told that this was going to happen. So how do you say no to God? Right? She was told this was going to happen. She wasn't asked if you want this to happen. She was told that this was going to happen. And so how do you say no to God? So that started it. And so now you got a Bible, like Neil has said, I believe was written by men of the time. And so all the stuff you see is about their culture, their likes, their dislikes, the things that they want to happen. And it favors, all throughout the Bible, it favors men. And so this is just another one of those things that it's nothing wrong with you raping a virgin or treat. I mean, it's like a woman, it's like a piece of furniture or a piece of meat. You can do whatever you want to do with her. Again, that's how we get the mentality of people like this person that's on the chats right now, because they read the Bible and they throw in their own kind of interpretation, and then they use the Bible to justify it. Confirmation bias, which means that you already think like this, and so you find stuff in the Bible to confirm your biased thinking, your misogynistic thinking, your sexist thinking. And so that's what's going on. So hopefully people like you, I'm not saying you specifically, but hopefully people who think like you will go the way of the dinosaurs, be gone, and we have no more people that think like you in this world.
Yeah, good luck. Because
Yeah,
like I tried to bring in that presentation when I was talking about Stephen Reese. I tried to bring him out on the dude's show. I don't want to keep saying his name to promote his show over here, but I tried to bring it out, the psychology on why you know how you be like, it's clearly right here a contradiction, but they refuse to see it. It's a cycle, it's 16 principles people need for them to subscribe to a certain religion once they become indoctrinated. And if somebody values tranquility, Mr. Willie, if somebody values that, they're going to believe in the Bible because they want to believe there's a paradise when they die. You know, so if that's something they value, if they value vengefulness, they're gonna want an angry God to punish the non-believers. Since you know they always saying they want us to go to hell anyway. You know, so they're going to say, so it really takes a lot to get in their mind psychologically to get rid of this stuff. But like you said, as time progresses, as science improve, as technology improve, as we enter the age of information, slowly these guys gonna eventually die out, just like you said in your book.
Yep, you absolutely. That's what's gonna happen. Before we get to the fifth one, it's 10 of these, so we're gonna do 5 because we're gonna do a part 2 of this in a few weeks because we got to do a part 2. I just want to say hello to some people. Two Brown, glad to have you. Appreciate it. Is that Wildcat? Appreciate, glad to have you. Glad to have you. Those of you who are new, who haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. You get more of this. So we appreciate it. Let's see, Two Brown, I want to read one of your comments. Let's see. I always ask if God is so powerful, why send the so-called devil here with instead of just taking him out? I think we mentioned that. We said that on the last show because if you guys watch cartoons, right? What is it? The Road Runner and Wile E. Coyote. If the coyote ever catches the Road Runner, the show is over. The show is over. So if God ever got rid of the devil, guess what? The show is over. You go back to the Exodus story in Egypt, even if you look at that story, he sent all these plagues to change Pharaoh's heart, right? But then when Pharaoh got ready to change and let his people go, what happened? God hardened his heart, right? God playing games with y'all. So this is, again, if you can't see this for the mythology and the BS that this really is, but yet we live our life through this prism. Like this is like we believe this stuff is so real. You got to be out your mind. And I heard someone say this too. If this God of the Bible was real, I still wouldn't worship him because he is immoral, inhumane, narcissistic, and just flat out pathetic. And I said that, and you heard it on this show. Absolutely. Go ahead, Neo. I think you wanted to say something, Neo.
Yeah, I was just saying, and I kind of use Romans 9:17. You know, I'm just giving verses for the Christians to double check what I'm saying. I even show that proves that if you believe in the biblical narrative, you don't have free will because the Bible tell you that Pharaoh was created just so he can reject God and enslave the Israelites just for God to show off his power and how wonderful he is and how he can, have these magical powers that he can do these things. So it said Pharaoh was even raised up for that purpose, that specific purpose. So if you believe in the Bible, you don't even have free will. God is going to place you where he wants you to place you to play out his story it has already written. So
yeah, I mean the same thing with Judas. Judas didn't have a choice but to be Judas. If Judas don't do what Judas did, we ain't even having this discussion today. We ain't having this. So you think Judas had free will? Without Judas, none of this happens. None of this happens. So those of you who love Jesus and love Christianity, Judas should be your man. You should have pictures of Judas all over your house. Because without Judas, none of this happens. None of this happens. Right? We ain't having this discussion. Ain't no resurrection. Ain't none of that.
And Jesus didn't want to go to the cross. Remember, he prayed and asked God to find another way. He had to. He had no choice. Jesus ain't even have free will. Like, come on, y'all. It's all through the Bible.
Yep, all through the Bible. So let me get to this last one, and we'll discuss this, and then we'll take it up again after that. Number 5, the Bible causes millions of children and adults to have nightmares, depression, and mental anguish. Neo, we talked about this in depth. So you and Taisha, you go ahead.
Thais, you want to go first? And you know I got something to say about this. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I'll
let you
be
go first.
I'll be quick. I had to apologize to my son because yeah, I was one of those mothers. I thought I was, train up a child in the way they should go and all that. Not when you sit back and you look at it, wow, God's gonna get you. So you put this in their mind that's something they can't see, can't verify, but can see you at all times. Yet when you're being harmed, they don't intervene to save you. And that was just the most sickening thing. And then I see videos and stories on social media and the news about mainly it's mothers who beat their children for not reciting Bible verses correctly. There's a saying, "My mama drugged me to church" and stuff like that, and it's like, wow. And sometimes these people are really messed up. That's why in prisons they have the prison ministry. They have so many Bibles in the prison. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well, if that's where they end up, then what did the Bible do in their upbringing or dragging them to church? What did that do to keep them from going there? So yeah, that's it. It does. It's a mind F word. It just causes so much confusion and it drives you insane. It drives you insane. And I always go back to the song by CeCe Winans. I hate this song with all my heart. It's like it's called Just Like You, Jesus. And with that image being put in our mind who he is, but it's like, I want to walk like you, I want to talk like you, I want to live like you, I want to look like you, which is all impossible. But to say that to a black child, to a black person, it's ridiculous. So yeah, it is the ultimate mind F word.
Yeah. Neo, what you got?
I'm trying to say this without cursing because y'all know I got a potty mouth.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I
Okay.
cuss. Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. The Bible has fucked me up mentally. I am still in therapy to this day. I speak to a therapist too because of the anxiety. And the reason why I probably have panic attacks because of the nightmares that I had, people telling me I'm going to hell, that God hates me. And then when I actually read the Bible for myself, you got to keep, some people, they going to find tranquility in it. Some people like me who have morals, like I think natural morals in my essence of who I am, who knows it's wrong to kill kids, had a problem with it. And when I realized, I said, even the judgment is unfair. Like, you're gonna burn and send people to hell who are just simply not convinced. You know what I'm saying? Not that I would make sense if we walked out our doors every day and we looked up at the sun, and right next to the sun we see God on the throne, and we continue to disobey him, then we go to hell. But being that this God is functioning just like all the other false religions, because we're not convinced, we're gonna go to hell. The judgment is, I don't even know if y'all caught one of my shows, but one guy told me that I'm not gonna, because the story is too vulgar. In so many words, I shared a story about somebody kill a group of men killing an infant, and they our word the infant, right? And I said, if those person forgive, if they ask for forgiveness and they whatever, they get to go to heaven, right?
Yep,
He
yep.
said that person is going to become one of the people who judge the non-believers. The Bible teach. And I said, so you telling me that I if I refuses to believe in the Bible, I'm going to be judged by a man who R-word a baby to death? But the reason why I'm not sitting with him, because I didn't get enough evidence, even though I constantly stayed on my knees and prayed for years to get that something supernatural to give me some type of push to keep pushing this doctrine, because I don't see God in it no more. I see man all through it. Yeah. So, but yes, the Bible will. I mean, I lost my mind temporarily. I thought I was seeing stuff. It really gets in here. And that's how the people who use that Bible, they know what they're doing. That's how they're able to manipulate the church women, take all their money, take all their tithe, separate women from their husband, because the woman started worshiping the pastor more and not, trying to mend things with her own husband. It's a lot of stuff the church do to manipulate people. But with me, I psychologically lost it because I was taught turn and burn type. I was under that type of doctrine. Hell, 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 hell. I didn't see the love of God when I first read the scriptures. Just keeping it real.
Yeah, and appreciate that, Neo. That's really personal. We unfortunately, Neo, you're not the only one. I mean, there are organizations out there that were created for people who are escaping religious trauma. There's an organization in Canada called CORT, CO, and then it's religious trauma, that I've actually been asked to speak at their convention in October. It's about religious trauma. There are forums, there are boards. I cannot tell you, since I've been doing this over the last 8 years or so, the stories that I've heard about religious trauma, and they are dire, just traumatic, just painful stories.
I lost my mom temporarily. True
Yeah. So
story. But I
if
was one of the lucky ones who was able to snap back.
yeah,
But
and so
it doesn't.
I think that this number 5 is good to end on, because I want people to take away this. If you can't find any other reason why we should at least think about canceling the Bible, it is for the trauma that's created. All of us, myself, Taisha, and Neo, we've been part of that religion and that faith. And so we can tell you what we went through in leaving it. Not only is it just the mental stuff that Neo went through, which is bad enough, it is losing of friends. It is being called all kind of names. It is being ostracized. It is being made fun of. Everything that you could think of. I mean, when your own mother says that you're going to burn in hell and you're the Antichrist. And here is a woman who used to revere me as her son. There is nothing else. I mean, everything that I did, from getting expelled, smoking weed, whatever I did, she was cool. But the minute I said I no longer believe the way you believe, everything went out the window. That's a mental illness. She even told another family member that she wanted my business, my wife and I business, to suffer, which meaning that my own mother wanted me to be destitute if it meant that I'll come back to Jesus. That is a mental illness. That is a mental illness that a lot of our people suffer from. I wanted to read a couple of last comments before we leave. Let's see, Wildcat, we're seeing him die out now. Pew Research shows a decline. Wildcat, you're absolutely right. I'm doing my thesis and hopefully a dissertation as I work on a PhD on that exact topic. I spoke with a professor today, so I will be writing on NONS, NONES, which is the non-affiliated non-believers in the Black community. Pew Research is one of the studies that I use, so you are absolutely right on that. Appreciate it. Somebody, Mo Wheat, what's going on? So, holy crap, cancel it. Great idea. What I missed, Mo, you got to go back to the beginning, man, and listen to the whole thing. So we appreciate it, though. And we're gonna do a part 2. Hopefully, I can get Neo and Taisha back, because we got to finish it, because this was good. This is boring. Okay, well, you still here. You can leave at any time. You ain't blocked in, brother. You can leave. You can leave. So appreciate it, Wildcat. Hey, listen, this is the wrong one. Listen, I usually try to keep it chill, because I got a specific way I want this podcast to run.
Really gonna feed the trolls today.
But here's what I tell you. Just like I told a guy in the barbershop one day, I walked in, I had on a shirt and a tie, and we got into it. And I said, bro, let me tell you something. Don't let the suit and the booty fool you, right? So to this troll, don't let this fool you, right? Don't let this fool you, because we can get at it, right? But let me let you know, we appreciate you being here, because you provided us some comedy. You also let us know that our work is valuable, because as long as there's idiots like you still out there, then we got a lot more work to do. And so
how about this one? Thank you for the engagement and the watch time, because that does nothing but boost up the numbers on the Save the Same channel. So thank you, player.
Absolutely.
Thank you, player.
And bring your friends next time too. So we appreciate it. Christine, greetings. You have missed the last replay. Yeah, tell him again. He got to go. Mo, you got to go back and get the whole thing. Me either. What an evil being to worship. Thank you, Two Brown. He's an evil being to worship. Moe says he made the comments to the troll. Our country's not built on religion. You can leave. We'll stay right here. People are slowly figuring out your religion is a myth and leaving the church. Absolutely 100% right, Mo. You right on point. Let's see. Anybody else? The Bible is a book of fairy tales. Couldn't have said it better myself. It's straight mythology. And people are waking up and find out about that. Some people need the Bible. Brother Q, we covered that earlier. We talked about that. I did give that credit. But here's what I say. You do better when you know better. I don't have these discussions with people in generations older than me, because I know that's all that they had. But my generation and younger, we should know better. We have technology. We can read it. We just think we need it. Everything that the Bible has given us, it's replaceable. You know why? Because the Bible took all of his ideas from other books. So those books are out there. The Bible is nothing is original in the Bible whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. So we can find the same information in other books. So we don't need the Bible. And I'm saying that Javon had a chat with a theist. He didn't want to admit that I can never pronounce that. What is it? Jephthah killed his daughter, and I don't pronounce it wrong. I know it's biblical, pronouncing it wrong. My bad. Daughter as a burnt offering in Judges. Even after pointing out, he said he did what he vowed. There's plenty of stories like that. Plenty of stories like that in the Bible. But people want to believe it. They want to cherry pick. Either way, no one gets to stay here, whether you believe or not. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys for all these comments. I'm trying to get to one. Let's see, Brother Q. If you need a fairy tale to cultivate your higher humanity, fine, fine. But the danger lies in people thinking if you don't subscribe to the fairy tale, you will suffer eternal damnation. Absolutely, KB. That is one of the biggest problems with it. I'm gonna go to the end. Let's say he must be bored. He must like bored. Yeah, because he's still here, right? Wildcat said exactly, Taisha. Papa Soul Search appreciate it. Does Neo have a YouTube channel? Yeah, I'm gonna let Neo and Taisha give you their last words, and they can tell you where to find them and how to support them. So we'll begin with Neo. Let them know how to find you and support you.
All right. The name of my channel is called Neo X Philosophy and Me. I can't, for some reason, I can't drop the link on Mr. Willie. Gonna have to do that, or whoever.
Taisha got it up right.
Yeah, because every time I try to drop a link, I think it's a setting that we have that links can't be posted. But the name of my channel is called Neo X and Me, Neo X Philosophy and Me, because I try to base a lot of my material around philosophy. I'm very curious about how the mind works, because as you can see, I'm very open about my mental health. I have really bad anxiety. I've been trying to figure out why my brain functions the way it does. And I do believe in freeing people. And I'm very into my spirituality, regardless of people disagree with what I believe in or not. I did burn a little sage for the little hater. I seen Taisha had the little troll spray, but I burned a little sage to get some of that negative energy, because even though it's funny, I actually feel sorry for whoever that individual is, because I know the psychological damage that this person has in their mind, that they feel like it's more beneficial to troll people while we're actually having a dialogue. You get what I'm saying? No one is attacking the person that believes in the doctrine. We're attacking what the doctrine teach to the people. And second, you can go ahead and don't forget to unblock Jay, because I would never discourage anyone from checking out your show, because you do have a wonderful show. It's just a person like Jay. It's a reason why people call me Neo, because I can just I watch people, Mr. Willie, and I can just read. And old brother gets off on it. I can't. I'm telling you, he gets off on trolling. So I didn't want to give him the satisfaction with me today. Now he can troll you another day, but while I'm up here, I just didn't want to, because it's weird. I feel sorry for the brother. Yeah, but
that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to protect whoever comes on my show. So that's fine.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's just only
come on my show.
I'm trying to keep it simple, but you can hear it. Like one time he was on my show and you can hear it. And I was like, yo, he's getting off on it. Get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? He was too into it. But for those who watch my channel, I do have a philosophy where I say all religions are true, but not to be taken literally. I'm not saying that I literally believe in anything any religion teach. I'm more saying that it's in your consciousness, it's in your mind, it's the way we work out stuff. And I'm going to give you a clear example. Mr. Willie, are you an atheist?
No.
Okay. Do you?
Well, I don't put myself in a box.
Right, but would you be okay with labeling yourself an agnostic?
What I tell people is that I don't believe in any of the current gods that man has created, but I leave myself open to the possibility that there is something else out there beyond me.
Exactly. So I'm glad he said that, because when I tell people that all religions are true, but not to be taken literal, even with a man who could look at the Bible, clearly see where the problem is, judge it and say, okay, this is not for me. He's still open to something else coming to him to lead him into maybe believing in the creator if he desires to. Basically, that philosophy means, y'all, that all rivers lead to the ocean. We just don't know what to call the ocean. So some people subscribe to different religion based on where they were born, number one, whatever they was indoctrinated, and whatever they believe in their subconscious. Mr. Willie don't have that mentality no more. He doesn't need the Bible for him to practice being a good guy. It's already in his essence. He's already dealing with whatever it takes for him to love his wife, be a good uncle to his nieces and nephew, be a good neighbor. He doesn't need a divine entity over him telling him, hey, be a good person, because he already recognized the God that's inside of him. He's already tapped into that consciousness. So that's what I mean, y'all. It's not a hard concept, but for some reason, I got banned off a show for trying to teach people to unify and not divide. But, you know, it is what it is. But thank y'all for supporting the show. This is a great show. Thank you, Mr. Willie, for coming. Taisha, you know I got to reach out to you. You know I want to interview you, sis. You bold. You bold. Yeah. I've been catching some of your videos, and I say Taisha don't give a damn what they do.
No, she don't. She don't. She don't.
Taisha gonna say that Bible's fake. I don't give a elf. I don't give a damn. The Bible's fake. Like I like Taisha. She bold.
Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something about Taisha. Don't go running up on her. Don't go run up on her. No. Maybe the last time you run up on somebody, trust me. But Taisha, go ahead and tell them how they can support you.
Oh, I appreciate that. I love it. NeoX, once we get done and the live is ended, I'll give you my phone number so you can give me a call. Brother Williams, I just want to say thank you for having me here. I know you recently had a birthday and it fell on a Sunday, so I knew that you were spending time in church and things like that. So thank you for taking the time out to share that with us. That's what I'm trolling. I'm trolling. But yes, here's my channel. Oh my gosh, Butterfingers. Here's my channel, Taisha Essex. I am on YouTube by my name, all social media platforms. And yeah, pretty much I've kind of taken a hiatus for a little bit because YouTube has gotten on my nerves. When you invest in your channel and you're not going, you're not that hi guys YouTuber, and you just doing this to be doing it. It gets discouraging after a while when you're not pushed and you're shadow banned and you're giving community strikes for stuff that I put up for self-defense, different commentary that's not going with the masses and the asses. It's trailblazing my own path. But I'm Taisha Essex. Brother Willie, he has been with me before I even had a face to the name, supporting. When I look at my Facebook memories, different things I put up about leaving Christianity, religion, he was always there to back me up, and I really appreciate that. And I'm happy to see this blossom and come into fruition and the greater things you have to come. So if we can all, before we leave, we can all, if you can reach out and we can touch and agree for 2023 that Brother Willie Cartwright on Safe the Same, he will bring Brother Jeremiah Kamara on.
Oh yeah, I gotta get Jeremiah.
So we are all touch and agree, because they say when two or more come into agree. So I'll play it, but I'm happy to be here, Neo. I'm happy of what you do, your platform. You have gotten me through some work days, because you get some videos with some length over there. Okay, it'll get you through a day. So I really appreciate it. And I look forward to our collaboration.
12 hours.
Yeah, you guys know. You got it. Leo, what's your shortest video? About 3 hours?
My shortest video is like an hour, but the longest one is 12 hours. I ran out of time. The show wasn't even over yet, but we ran out of time and then had to start another show.
Yeah.
But it was a needed conversation, though. It was definitely, and I feel like my guests showed up and they were fabulous. That's all I gotta say. So it was a good show. It got me kicked out of the conscious community, but it was a fabulous show. It was a fabulous show.
So we're gonna end. We appreciate all of you. Thank you guys so much. Everybody, thank you. If you have not subscribed to our channels,
you see the private chat. Can you drop that link? It's in the private chat. So you can drop it for me.
Let me see.
Because I don't want them to search my name and the wrong videos come up. This is exactly how they can go right to my channel. It's in the private chat. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay. Shout out Wildcat. That's funny. Taisha will send you to your God or devil. Hey.
What? I like you. I like how bold you is. I said she just don't give a damn.
I'm just at that age right now. It's like I've been through so much, and I'm like, you know what? I've just had it. Yeah, I really have. I had enough.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Maybe I think I'm gonna get there one day, but I practice omnism, so I'm more patient with people.
I was there. I practiced it too. I've been going through the stages, but we'll save that chat for your channel. But yeah, this is great. I look forward to it, because also I my background is mental health as well. So yeah, it's a lot to dissect there.
That's what's up.
So here's
But
that's the link. What's the link for?
Her channel.
they go
Oh,
directly to
okay.
it. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
thought about it. If they search my name, they might come across some of the troll channels. So that's how they can
Yeah,
exactly.
you know what? That's what happened because I couldn't. I got a new phone, so I lost all your information, Neo. And I went to YouTube, and what came up was whoever this dude is, and I didn't even.
Wow.
So I just sent you out a message on that, but I heard him say some things about you that was not that I
Oh, no.
really did not like.
Well,
But we won't do that tonight. But
yeah, I can't speak on it
uh,
because it's a
yeah,
legal pending.
yeah. So
So
I
he's
have, but
he
I've
gonna
had
learn
this
not to say
conversation.
too much.
You and I have had this conversation, and
You have.
we want to keep this space for what the space is for. And so let's don't get bogged down with the garbage because there's a lot
Yeah.
of garbage out there. Let's keep the space for where it is because we all got a lot to contribute. So we appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to all of our channels. Support us. Tell your friends about us. We're gonna do a part 2 when I can get Neo and Taisha back together again. This was great. I think it's one of our better shows. I appreciate it. A lot of energy, a lot of comments. Love it, love it. And hopefully it's gonna make a lot of people mad out there. So we'll get a lot more activity, a lot more comments because I'm waiting for it because I know it's coming. But thank you guys. Remember, we'll be back in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I gotta go to France for a couple of weeks.
See
Peace,
ya.
y'all.
Peace out.
Peace,
See you guys.
peace.
Let me end this.